Hello everyone and welcome to one of Let's Plays, the series where I show off games that wouldn't actually make a full LP out of, and today we're going to be looking at a really decent collection for people who are huge fans of the Zelda series. As we are going to look at The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, a GameCube game released in 2003, and I'm looking at the box right now and it says at the very bottom it's a promotional disc, includes 4 classic games. And these are 4 great games, believe me, because, well, as you see on the title screen, not only do we get a 20-minute playable demo for The Wind Waker, but we get The Legend of Zelda for the NES, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, so we get the first 2 great NES titles, but the real seller for me, alright, is we get The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, and The Legend of Zelda Majoras Mask, my favorite game of all time. I think it's mainly the fact that Majora's Mask was on this which made me get it in the first place because, like I just said, it's my favourite game of all time, and I was like, well, if it's on there, I want to get it. But still. Alongside that, we even get given a retrospective trailer, so it shows us all the Zelda games that came out up until this collection came out, so sadly, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Link Between Worlds, and that aren't going to be on this, obviously, because, you know, they came out after the GameCube and stuff. Alongside that, we even get a special movie for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and it's just a really nice collection. If I also press the Z button, it'll show us this side of things where it has all these descriptions as I scroll through them, so you can read about that, tells you when they were released and what system they were on, but I kind of already know that anyway, but I always just thought it was really nice to hear it. And if I be quiet for a second, you might be able to hear something, okay? You know that Navi speaks in Ocarina of Time, and that's occasionally quite annoying. Listen to how high quality it sounds.
Look! Hello! Look! Watch out! Watch out! Hello! Hello! Listen! Listen!
It might just be me, but I don't know. I find that the voice for it is so clear. Like, on the N64, it always sounded a bit compressed, and even when ported over to the Wii U, or Wii Virtual Console, it just sounded even more compressed than that, so it sounds really clear on the GameCube version. That makes no sense really, but still. But one thing I reckon that we should start with is watching some of the trailers. So first off, how about we look at the retrospective side of things for The Legend of Zelda, and just indulge in the nostalgia, because this is very well put together, I must say. This game though, wow, this is getting quite rare, even though it includes these 4 games. It's getting a bit valuable over the years, but then again, most collection type of games tends to do that. Except luckily, collections like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, or Mega Drive Collection as it's known over here anyway, that's going for cheap still, so get it while it lasts, that's all I can say, because maybe in a couple of years' time, that might start getting rare. I do like this though, and the fact that when it shows us all of these Zelda games going by, at the very end it says you can play all these on the Nintendo GameCube, and you know what? They're actually not lying. People who had the Nintendo GameCube back in its time of release, you already had access to all the Zelda games that came out, excluding the CDI games, because nobody talks about those, but, you know. Because with the GameCube, not only does it include those NES games and N64, but because of the Game Boy player that the GameCube had, you could then plug in Link's Awakening and the Oracle of Ages and Seasons. So yeah, when they were talking about that, they were not lying at all. And I don't know, it's just really nice to look back on it also and just understand like how well the Zelda series took off to begin with, really. To be honest, I don't really know exactly what the reception was like, because the first Zelda game that came out was in the 80s and I was born in the 90s, so I did not really get to experience that. In fact, guys, I didn't really discover The Legend of Zelda as a series until 2011. I know, that's weird, right? Ever since then, I just grew up with the likes of Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff, and I was just a die-hard Sonic fan. It was pretty much the most thing that I used to play when I was a kid. But in 2011, I decided to get Ocarina of Time 3D for the 3DS. And then I just was like, wow, oh my god, why did I not play this back in the day? This is bloody incredible. In fact, it blew my mind in 2011. Just shows you something, doesn't it? And now, let's look at the special movie for The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. I mean, I just felt like, you know, for the collection and stuff, if you really just want to see what all this has and if it's worth getting or not, this is just a summary of everything that included in it, you know? Like with Wind Waker and all the promotional discs and DVDs and whatnot. In fact, I do actually own a copy of Wind Waker for the GameCube, However, it includes a bonus edition of Ocarina of Time. You see, for people who had Wind Waker at the time of its release, or at least just a special edition version of it, I suppose, at least the case for me for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is gold. And the bonus disc that it comes with is Ocarina of Time again, but remastered with a Master Quest. And I don't mean remastered like, oh my god, they built the graphics from the ground up for the GameCube or anything. No. They basically just took the N64 game and just made the dungeons a bit more difficult. In fact, no, a hell of a lot more freaking difficult. Wow. I do rather like the Master Quest now looking at it or so, because I've recently been playing it, and it is a grand old time. Except I do remember when I played it on the 3DS the first time for the Master Quest, the Spirit Temple was a pain in the ass. So maybe that's when I might not like it again, but still. Anyway, with all that, I guess I might as well show off the demo for The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Because it's quite interesting what they do about this demo, really. In fact, even though it's 20 minutes, it ends just so abruptly. And what I mean by that is, like, you will just literally play it for 20 minutes, and there's like no indication of your time or anything, so when you're playing it, you're not really aware half the time of how long you're playing, and then it'll just suddenly end, and you'll be like, oh, right, okay. It just kicks you back to the title screen, so it's really weird. In the demo, though, of this, we get given 3 different files. We have Dungeon, Stealth, and Island. Because it's The Legend of Zelda, and I actually have not played too much of the Wind Waker myself, I mean, honestly, it's one of those Zelda games that I play, but I can just never find myself coming back to it. It doesn't mean it's a bad game, and it's just, I don't know, my span of attention is really crap. That's the main reason why and stuff, but, you know, basically you get given those 3 different files that you can choose to go over to other places. So you can do the stealth mission or the island. So one of them involves exploring around an island, while of course the other one is the stealth one in the Forsaken Fortress. But I don't know, I just felt like it made more sense to do this one. However, I think you mainly get the picture of this. I don't really want to be playing around on this one for too much, because it's 20 minutes. You don't want the whole video just to be 20 minutes of me playing through Wind Waker, do you? So, you get the picture. You get to play Wind Waker for at least 20 minutes, and then it takes you back. It gives you a taster of the game before you buy it, so that's rather cool. Up next, I reckon I can show off the NES games, and I'm only going to show off one of the 2 compared to the N64 and NES, by the way. My choice between the 2 is Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, because, my god, wow, okay. This game, in my opinion, gets some really negative reception here and there, and it's mainly just because of a difficulty spike. A lot of people don't like how hard this game is and the cryptic puzzles, but I don't know. I feel like Zelda 2 is the kind of game that when you play it as a kid, it's really mind-boggling. Like, where you're like, where the hell do I go? What do I do? But when you play it as an adult, with lots of experience in video games, it is so much fun. Like, recently I was playing it for the Wii U Virtual Console, and oh my god, I had a grand old time trying to do it. In fact, I might be a bit biased on this, but I personally prefer Zelda 2 more than the first NES game. I don't know, it's just me really. I like the fact that it's 2D and it tried out something different, and I just approve it a lot. And should I call myself my own name? Why not? I don't see why I shouldn't do that, because I don't know. It's kind of pointless to do it though in these type of games, because they never really address the name of the character. In fact, that wasn't really properly implemented until around maybe Ocarina of Time. Yes, I'm not sure really. The main seller for this though, for this type of game, is the fact that in the UK, now I might be explaining about a bit of technical terms right here, but you see, in the UK we had this thing for systems known as 50 Hz, which means that the games ran a lot slower compared to the USA counterparts, or at least anywhere that, you know, when you had the consoles or games, you had the region code of NTSC, if you will. And 60 Hz basically means that the game runs a lot faster, smoother, and more efficient, so it meant that while Zelda 2 did come out for the NES, we sadly got it in 50 Hz, meaning it was a bit slower compared to all the other ones, and this was the same for N64 games as well, but this GameCube collection actually unlocks that possibility, because this game, when you buy it for the PAL systems, will only run in the version of 60 Hz. So this unlocks the potential of us finally being able to play Zelda 1 and 2, as well as Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask in 60 Hz, and I will do a comparison, by the way, just to show you what I mean when we get to Majora's Mask, because one thing I always remember is In The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, whenever you did the Song of Soaring, and I looked it up on YouTube when other people would basically be playing the USA version, in that one, it sounded in time to the music, but our one just is slightly a little bit off because it's just that little bit slower. I know that's really nitpicky, but I don't know, I'm really picky now in terms of like refresh rates, aspect ratios, and resolution, because I'm such a cool guy, right? Oh man, I do often wonder about myself sometimes, but still. Also, one thing I can show off for this is if you press the Z button, you can just reset the NES game and resume it or quit it or whatever, so you know, there's just a quick little guidance for people like who want to know what the interface is like when you play it on this. Honestly though, even though it includes Zelda 1 and 2, you know, that's really nice, really helpful, but I really do not like playing Zelda 2 or Zelda 1 with the GameCube controller, and the main reason why is because, yes, I know, the D-pad exists on the GameCube, but I personally am not a big fan of the D-pad for the GameCube, because I find that it's just so small that my thumb just kind of overlaps everything and presses buttons that I don't really want it to do. So the only true comfortable way of playing Zelda 1 and 2, really, is with the GameCube's analog stick. And personally, I don't know, I really do not like playing games with, you know, like a 2D sides to it, or at least NES games with an analog stick. I'd rather be using a proper functional D-pad. So your best bet, really, if you want the most comfortable way to play Zelda 1 and 2, is without a doubt on the Wii or Wii U Virtual Console, because then you can just map a Wii remote, and the Wii remote already looks like the NES when you hold it on its side anyway, for like an NES controller. So I don't know, it's just my little preference or so when it comes to it, but still. Wow, I actually nearly almost did that then. Again, that was because of like the GameCube's analog stick. I was going to say, if I took a hit right there, that would be a pain in the arse. I will admit, even though I am a big fan of this game and all for Zelda 2, I'm not very good at it. Okay? But, you know, never know or so, like, maybe in the future I might do a full LP of this or something, but I don't want to be sticking around for too long, and that's really all I have to say about the NES games. You can save them to your memory card, and that's rather nice, but, I don't know. I think I saved my memory card to it once, but I just deleted the data and decided to start again. Anyway, with all that, I guess now I might as well go onwards to Majora's Mask, because I mainly just want to show off, like, how smooth this version runs, and then I'll do my comparison when it comes to doing the Song of Soaring. You may notice some slight sound irregularity when playing Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Yeah, that's the only thing I will say. Even though the games do run at 60Hz for the N64, there are some slight audio hiccups here and there, so when you do actually play it for the original N64, there's none of that. And even on like the Wii U Virtual Console. Really, if you're after the best video quality to get out of these games, your best bet really is to buy the Wii/Wii U Virtual Consoles of these. But if you really if you're a PAL gamer like me and you really want to play the Ocarina of Time or the Majora's Mask in 60Hz, get this. Like, this is the sole purpose why I got this, guys. I mean, I always looked at Majora's Mask and was sad that I could never play it in 60Hz. And yeah, Pepsi Man. I don't know why. I just decided to call it Pepsi Man for some reason, because I was watching Pepsi Man at the time. It's a really obscure PS1 game. It's worth a look, believe me. But yeah, back to what I was saying though about Majora's Mask. Here is basically how it looks in the side of 60Hz. Except, I will agree that for the collector's edition version of this, man, there is a lot of slowdown in places, especially when compared to the Wii U Virtual Console version, because that one ran a hell of a lot smoother. Maybe that's because of the conversion of changing it to 60Hz, but the thing is, I'm not really too sure. But I don't really want to stick around for too long on that, because mainly, you know, just the same thing happens here and there where you go all around the place. Except one thing I do want to show off, which completely ruins the damn experience, if you ask me, and the immersion sometimes of these games, is something that I'll get to in a minute. But for now, what I shall do is get my Ocarina out and show you a comparison for 60Hz. In fact, if I just go to this screen right now, look at how this is scrolling, okay? Look at how the thing is just moving around, just like that. And now I go over to the Wii U version, and it's slightly slower. I hope, anyway. But now the true difference is the Song of Soaring, okay? So let me just go ahead and play the Song of Soaring and just warp to some sort of random location. I might go to the Great Bay or something, because, I don't know, recently I've been playing this game in the I've been playing a lot and got really far. Okay, let's go to the Great Bay Coast. Okay, here is a comparison, alright? So, the 60 Hz version, when using the Song of Soaring. And now, the 50 Hz version on the Wii U. Notice how the song was actually in time to the warping, and on the 50 Hz version it's that slight bit slower. That's what I mean about the whole 50 Hz, 60 Hz ordeal. It's really something that not a lot of people are going to care about, but I don't know. For me, I like to get the games in the best quality and the best speed and the best just everything. I'm a quality whore, basically. But still. Anyway, another thing and final thing I might as well show off though is the fact that if I go all the way over here and use this owl statue, I'm going to show you what I mean when I talked about this whole immersion thing being broken, okay? So you have this owl statue right here, and I'm going to save it, right? This also happens when you play the Song of Time, by the way, alright? So I'm going to save it, and it's going to be really immersive. Oh, okay, right. Saving! Do not touch the memory card. It does that when you play the Song of Time. So while you're playing the Song of Time and trying to reset it all, and then it will just suddenly cut out and go, saving the memory card. You're like, oh, come on, you're breaking the immersion, man. But still, you know. Also, I'm playing this through RGB SCART, by the way, through a scaler, which is why it looks like this. I mean, I would use component, but I can't. And that's the thing that's kind of a pain in the ass. Don't laugh at me. In fact, this gives me something to address, by the way, to people who have the region code known as NTSC for this game. So even though I just said I'm playing this through RGB SCART, and it looks really nice, that's because that's all I can deal with, since in the UK, the PAL GameCubes don't support 480p component, whereas the NTSC versions do. So what you can do if you want is, if you do happen to have a NTSC version of this game, and you have a Wii with component cables, play it like that, because then you can play it through 480p progressive scan, and oh my god, it looks great. That's the only thing I'm jealous about, really, because I can't actually do that in the UK unless I buy an actual American Wii and stuff, but I don't really want to do that. I just want to make do with the things that are available in my country, you know? Still. Either way, yeah, I reckon I'm going to call this one of Let's Play off here for the Collector's Edition. I hope this has been somewhat appealing in places. Hopefully I've gone over most of the things. And by the way, before I do actually end off, there's one thing I want to mention. Another reason to get the Wii U Virtual Console or Wii Virtual Console for these type of games is not only are the graphics slightly better in my opinion compared to this, because, you know, the HDMI upscaling from the Wii U and whatnot, it's also, they have save states, particularly the Wii U version, because on this one, no save states exist. And in this day and age, when people are trying to get into it, half people want to have save states, especially for like Zelda 2, the first time playing. I mean, nowadays I don't really use save states anymore because I don't see the point, but back then when I played Zelda 2 on the 3DS when I first got it, I used save states all the time for it, because it was just made it more accessible, you know? And also you can play with the Wii remote, so, you know, that's just different, isn't it? But yeah, I'm going to call this off right here. This has been The Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition for the GameCube, and I hope it has been enjoyable.